All right, Tomb of the Spider Queen here. Our blue team is going to be host to our star here, the Butcher. We're going to spend most of this game looking at his abilities, watching the team play around him. So yeah, that will be the blue team. Of course, this map, an interesting one. We'll talk a little bit about the mechanics just so those who are new to the game know about it. You're going to be collecting gems from the minions as well as heroes when you take them down, turning those gems in at various points in the map to support. Get the help of the Spider Queen, who will essentially send these powerful minions down the lane to push on your behalf.
That's right. And remember, the comp that we built here for the Butcher is on the Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's ideal for having the Butcher start an engagement. You have Jaina follow up in terms of damage, and if Fallen needs to, she can follow up. And then, of course, you have Uther for the Divine Shield to allow the Butcher to be that aggressive and roam around. So we'll keep an eye on them here. The opposing team, we wanted to show off a hero that some want to see some nerfs to, Illidan, as some people were like, hey, Illidan's a little bit strong, he's Skillidan. We're going to show you how strong the Butcher can be at locking down a hero like Illidan.
Absolutely, totally terrifying. And you know, even here in the early game, we're going to see just how strong the Butcher is out of the gate with some early takedowns. But here we are, just early startup for this this game. What would a Butcher player be thinking about at this point in the game, Tim? Clearly, you talked about trying to make the most of his trait, fresh meat, farming up attack damage.
Yeah, the early game's all about that protein. You see those little red drops there, those little teardrops? That's the fresh meat that he has to pick up, and he can stack them up, I believe, up to 25 unless you get a talent, which allows him to really move that damage up. And here you go. You see Ruthless Onslaught stunning the Illidan right away. Jaina bringing the damage, and Uther as well. Illidan can't get away. Immediate takedown. That's 3 blood stacks, or meat stacks here for the Butcher. So a total of 6 already on his kit.
Yeah, you also saw that X that sort of looked like a, I don't know, some sort of tear on Illidan. That is the Butcher's brand debuff we talked about, which allows the Butcher to receive health back as he's delivering damage. So again, once he gets on top of you and he places that debuff down, he's receiving health. It's like he's able to just stay in the battle and deal damage until you're essentially gone.
We just saw Diablo being taken down, another Diablo character immediately, and you see here, we're in the middle lane. Watch this Ruthless Onslaught on Sylvanas, player 6 here. He's going to pop his E, he's going to start charging in. Look at him run, an immediate stun after Uther, and just like that, an immediate kill right away. Illidan going to be forced to retreat, and you can see how deadly the Butcher can be if you're by yourself. He's meant to be terrifying.
Yeah, Ruthless Onslaught, one of those abilities that has a huge cast range. I mean, you will see, and it actually can be talented to increase over the course of the game, but you can see him covering so much ground with it. There goes Diablo, early takedown again for the Butcher. That's 3. Just, we're not even 2 minutes into the game.
For those of you at home that if you do play Nova and you play triple tap, it's about that range, a little bit shorter, but that's how far the Butcher can run. It's actually enough to where if Vala picks up the talent that's double vault, she can barely, just barely get away from the Ruthless Onslaught. It's long for a reason. It's because we want the Butcher to catch his targets.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's interesting to talk to the developers about this hero and sort of the fantasy built around him. They wanted it to be the kind of hero that if you saw him, you were worried for your life. Like, if you actually got even a glimpse that he was near you, you could potentially die.
And there you see him doing mercenary camps. He's very strong at dealing with mercenary camps just because of his debuff, the Butcher's brand. He's able to heal while taking the damage out, and he's able to do these Siege Giants by himself at level 4. So for those of you that like the jungle, that like to roam around a little bit, this is a guy that you definitely want to pick up.
Absolutely. Now, Tim, looking at the blue team's composition, are there particular strategies you feel like they would be smart to implement around Butcher play? What would the blue team be thinking about in order to maximize the potential of the damage from this hero?
Well, it's the comp right here. It's right now in the early game, it's all about the Butcher and Jaina. Those two could actually be together and roaming together, but right now you see Jaina by herself, and unfortunately she might get picked off here as you see Illidan diving in and going crazy. The Butcher does run on in, but he is outnumbered, and this is a display on how fragile he can be. He looks like he's in a solid position, but left alone here with Tassadar, Rhaegar, and Illidan, you see him just taking so much damage, and Illidan eventually will be able to clean him up. You have to be careful with the Butcher. And by the way, whenever he does get taken down, he loses all of his stacks.
Absolutely. Very important to note that. So he is a fragile hero and one who, you know, it's that risk-reward thing. You need to constantly put on the aggression, but if you lose, you're farming all of those stacks. And by the way, it does stack to 25, so it's a pretty significant amount of time before he is at his max damage capacity. You will lose it all. Now, granted, there is an ability in the Butcher's kit at level 7 called Abattoir, which allows him to at least hold on to 50% of those stacks. So you can talent to hold on to them.
Yeah, you certainly can if you want to be careful. And right now, the blue team has kind of fallen away from their strategy. They're not staying with the Butcher here, but the Butcher now is going to turn around. He's going to use Ruthless Onslaught. There's a stun there from player 5, but here we go. Player 2 charging in, going to try and slam down that Illidan. Hamstring does slow down any opponent hit in it. You see Illidan picked off once again.
That's a lot of kills on Illidan.
That's right.
As a result of this Butcher. So I'm sure that Illidan player's a little bit frustrated at this point, but hey, that's okay. It's nice to see that there's someone who can counter him.
That's right, man. So at this point, you see the blue team a little bit ahead here. They want to try and start getting pressure on the map, maybe get those turn-ins available to them so they can start roaming as 5. Because once you start roaming as 5, that's where the Butcher can really just bring in, especially with ETC being on this comp. He's so good at peeling and also applying the lockdown. There's so much CC here for the blue team that they could really start utilizing it with a great push here from the Spiders.
Absolutely. Of course, the blue team taking their time on this battleground to get some turn-ins here.
Illidan, go away.
Yeah,
don't go in there.
Yeah, don't go in there. We need to get some work done in here. So there's the turn-in. We talked about this earlier. If you're new to Heroes of the Storm, this is the objective for Tumba the Spider Queen at work. They've turned in enough gems to recruit the support of the Spider Queen. You're going to see 3 Web Weavers spawn and push in the lanes in support of that aggression for blue.
Now, the good thing here is as we do see this map mechanic happening here is the blue team is moving towards level 10. That's where you're going to see the heroic lamb to the slaughter, which again is a little stake point that you put into the ground, and whoever is near it is actually chained to that hitch. And so your team has to defend, or you're most likely going to die if you're by yourself, as we'll see. And their target here is to just lock down Illidan as much as possible, because he's the guy that's aggressive and really getting in melee range. Yeah,
absolutely. And of course, we did get to talk a lot about Furnace Blast. It is the other option for Butcher, which we don't see picked in this game, but interesting combos available there with that heroic. You can use Ruthless Onslaught to charge across the map and trigger your heroic at the same time, and that heroic will travel with you as an AoE effect that will essentially land or hit when you strike your target.
Yeah, and so speaking of that, it takes 3 seconds for the Burning Furnace to actually go off, and so you want to do it in the middle of a Ruthless Onslaught and try and combo that. So yeah, Kevin, there is definitely a lot of potential here for those that want to do that, but here we have the fight.
Look at this.
The Butcher is going to charge on in, trying to cause a little bit of aggression here, is going straight for player 9. Illidan just in trouble. He's trying to kite back. Butcher getting low though, but with that debuff, he's able to heal just enough for Uther to actually follow up and save the Butcher, and he's going to walk away just barely. But you can see he almost was taken down. He's very fragile. With very good team focus, you can counter the Butcher, but again, with great team focus on your side, you can get rid of people like Illidan.
Yeah, absolutely. Another takedown for Illidan. I'm sure he wants his revenge, and I know we're going to see a little bit more of those attempts from Illidan to take Butcher out later in the game. Butcher, again, we're in this mid-game. He just got his heroic, so we're going to keep an eye out for that Lamb to the Slaughter, which he did just pick. Right now, just going to clean up these minions here against the red, pushing in there.
Fresh meat right there, man.
Fresh meat indeed.
So he's going to go ahead and farm up and try and grab all of that. And now they're going to want to have a team fight pretty soon here before the red team does get to level 10 themselves. They're going to try and get some turn-ins available and try and get that advantage and push it to their advantage in any way. And you see Jaina starting to realize that she needs to stay near the Butcher here because they have a deadly combo together, especially with these heroics. So watch out here for Tassadar here in the middle.
Absolutely. Blue team getting another turn-in with those gems. I don't think they quite have enough to get the Web Weavers at this moment. Red team trying to just clean out these minions in the bottom lane and figure out how to get a better handle on this game. The red team is sort of slipping in terms of their control here.
Yeah.
Blue controlling the map, doing a really good job of that, utilizing the Butcher strength.
Oh, actually, we had Lamb for the Slaughter in the top right corner. We actually saw Diablo, I'm sorry, Rhaegar getting caught. You see how he's just kind of pulled back over and over. You cannot get away. For 4 seconds, you are locked down, so you either have to turn around and fight or accept that your doom is probably coming. And we have, so one member being fallen down, Diablo in trouble as well. The Water Elemental trying to chase him down. It looks like he will be saved, but you see them kind of sharking around right now, using the advantage. But the red team is about to move to level 10. They're going to get that silencing arrow, which will be helpful against the Butcher.
Absolutely. Those heroics really, really important to stack up and build strategy around. Here we see more turn-ins for the blue team. This is, again, not quite enough. Actually, no, it is. They do secure the support of the Web Weavers. They will spawn and push the lanes for them. Red team needs to figure out how to get back in control of this game. 2-level difference right now in support of blue. Butcher here continuing to farm up fresh meat and figure out how to make the next move. Red team just securing level 10 and grabbing their heroics. So now they're going to feel more confident to enter those team fights.
Yeah, so now we're going to have some engagement from them. They'll be able to, they can actually start the fights pretty well with Illidan having Metamorphosis and really trying to use that ability to jump in on top of somebody like Jaina or the Butcher. Of course, even getting Hollow would be great here too. So now we have a fight. Yeah. There goes a Force Wall. Illidan a little bit trouble down in the bottom left corner, and player 2 is actually getting pretty weak. The Butcher is going to be forced to pull back, and we now have ETC by himself. But the Divine Shield is enough to save him there, and the rest of the blue team is going to be forced to pull back. But you can see the red team does have strong team fight now.
Absolutely, and Illidan unable to really make much work out of that Metamorphosis heroic due to that support from Uther. Nice play by him with the Divine Storm, or Divine Shield. And blue team moving towards the bottom lane to continue to put pressure on this outside fort, and Diablo, man, he's interested, waiting in, a little out of position. Butcher charging. There's the debuff from the Butcher Brandon, just taken out so quickly.
I want to know, player 2, the Butcher, was at half health. After 2 auto attacks, he's almost full health there from that lifesteal. Really utilizing that to his advantage, bringing that mark there from him on the W. It looks like Tassadar's going to be able to get away just barely here, even with the Water Elemental chasing. But again, the blue team really taking the advantage on this map and moving back and forth.
Absolutely. And now what should the red team be thinking? They're playing against the Butcher, Tim. What is their defensive strategy? Clearly, the Butcher's been dominating in this game, securing a lot of kills. With the composition of red, should they be thinking about doing to counter that?
Well, honestly, they want to start grouping up because, again, the red team does not ever want to be by themselves. One person in the top lane, two in the middle, one on the bottom is prime pickings here for the Butcher. So you group up, make sure that you're defending lanes appropriately as you rotate between the maps because they are smaller lanes. And from there, you can do pretty well and try and get pickups like this. You see Bala by herself is forced to run immediately. They do have the damage and they have the potential, but now the Butcher by himself is running in, needs to be careful. It's going to start pulling back. Illidan diving in, but they are close enough to the turrets. And
there it is.
There's the Lamp of the Slaughter grabbing Illidan. Look, the rest of the team starts running away. You have to turn around and help Illidan there. Yeah. He gets slammed down, and now this allows the blue team to keep chasing here because really the main damage, the main comp here is for the Illidan double kills with Taskar and Rhaegar.
Red team's just scared of the Butcher, man. They see that post go down, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's too scary. We got to run away. Poor Illidan taken out in just like 2 hits.
You have to be on point when you're playing against this guy because he does punish those that are out of position. So now with this push coming down, the 5 middle down the middle, they could probably grab this for if they would like to, as Diablo won't be up for another 10 seconds, and the Butcher is just going to lead this charge here. Now, the good news for the red team is if they stay a little bit too late, they could turn this fight around. You see player 9 running in, going to try and jump on Bala here. She's low on HP. There's a Metamorphosis, so one member's going to fall, and they could potentially turn around on the Butcher here. If they can kill him, they're going to take out a stack. So now the Butcher trying to retreat. You can see how fragile he is here, taking a lot of damage from all of his opponents, but it looks like we're going to have Uther show up. Nice Divine Shield, and Lamb to the Slaughter is up here, so Illidan has to be careful, or the Butcher could run.
No.
There it is. Look, he's going to try and flip out of here. It gets pulled back immediately. You cannot run away from that thing.
Oh, man, poor Illidan just getting locked down again. Salty Illidan in this game.
A little salty. He's definitely a bucket of popcorn right now as the Butcher is just chewing him apart, and now Tassadar and Diablo are forced to retreat because they have no damage on this side of the map right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Red team just trying to figure out how to get back in control while the blue team secures a lot of turn-ins here. This actually, nope, it won't quite be enough for the Web Weavers, but sure is a lot of drop-offs here for them. They're really close. It looks like 15 away from the next Web Weaver spawn. The red team just trying to figure this out. Diablo kind of caught out of position again, trying to sort of fight it up with Uther and ETC. Bala coming in to support with some damage, but it looks like they are just going to back off. They need to get their confidence back to figure out how to get back in this game. The Butcher's in their head and got them shaking in the shoes.
Yeah, they're going to try and get 13 for now. That way they can be a little bit closer in terms of levels. And if they want to, they would fight before the blue team hits level 16. At level 16, the Butcher has an ability that he can pick up that allows him to have more attack speed. Right. So whenever he puts down the branding mark, he's able to attack that opponent with much more attack speed than before. So he's bringing the damage and he's hitting them pretty quickly. So they want to get there before that happens. But the blue team, knowing they have so much map advantage, they have so much map pressure because the red team is very terrified at the moment because of the Butcher roaming, they're just going to grab this golem for free.
Absolutely, man. That boss, such an important mercenary on a map like this, can deal so much damage and is going to be pushing in that top lane. And it looks like they are going to definitely secure this fort here, getting them ever closer to the core of the red team. So bad situation here for red, but red is taking the opportunity to turn in their gems before they get into the next team fight. Because, of course, if they get taken out in a team fight, those gems can be lost and sacrificed in the game. So nice opportunity by them to at least take advantage of the objective. And man, Diablo again caught. Lamb to the Slaughter on Diablo. Butcher trying to take him out quickly. Shield down on Butcher as well, just to anticipate the counter damage. But it looks like Diablo will fall, and Sylvanas just trying to get away with her life. But you saw him, ruthless onslaught, just taking her out as well.
The red team getting a little bit too into there. They're wanting to lock down the Butcher, and they had him locked down, but the Divine Shield from Uther was so strong in being able to keep the Butcher alive just long enough for him to heal up and also allow his teammates to show up and bring the Rain of Vengeance. So the red team forced to pull back because they lost Sylvanas, and again, they just gotta kind of work together and bait out those heroics. They want to see Divine Shield be used first, and they also want to use Lamb to the Slaughter to their advantage. They want someone to get locked down, but when that lockdown happens, they turn around and fight immediately.
Yeah, blue team grabbing another set of Web Weavers. Butcher picking up these bottom siege camp as well to push in their support. Man, here they're getting all of the support of this map. Mercs, Web Weavers to continue to push, and they are essentially sitting at the front gate of the red team. Red team really trying to figure out how to get back into an offensive position.
ETC wanting to dance, man. Is going to go ahead and pop out the mosh pit, but that might be good for the red team. They're able to turn around here and maybe potentially pick somebody off. Player 4 is in trouble. Player 9 now going for the chase. Looks like Illidan and Sylvanas wanting to bring something in, but the Butcher does show up, so they're forced to deal with these Web Weavers first. But it is good to know for the red team that mosh pit is down.
Absolutely. You can't blame ETC for wanting to celebrate. This game has launched, Tim. We're all very excited did. So it's nice to see some celebration there. Meanwhile, Web Weavers push in the top lane and the bottom lane, all 3 lanes, but red team is cleaning them up quickly. And here we see a huge team fight here in the bottom lane.
The blue team realizes that it was a 5v4. Lambda Slaughter goes down immediately on Rhaegar. He's locked down. Even jumping into Ghost form won't allow him. And for you at home, the only things that can actually break Lambda Slaughter,
right?
There's only 2 things. Cleanse. Cleanse will break it. It will allow you to walk out. And Unstoppable on Johanna, her trait will allow her to actually get out of it. Nothing else breaks it.
That's it, man.
If Illidan metamorphoses out of the area, he'll break the frame for a second, but then he gets pulled back all the way if that 4 seconds is still available. It's actually nearly impossible to get away from that thing.
Yeah, same thing with Tassadar and his E. You might hit it and move out of it, but as soon as that clears, yoink, he gets brought right back.
Yeah, you can't break it like that. You can't bolt out. If you bolt out, you get pulled back immediately too. So everything has to be come down in timing. You have to realize that you're stuck there for a little bit.
Absolutely, total lockdown. Red team just trying to clean up all of these minions and siege golems, web weavers, that's assaulting their fortifications, while the blue team continues to put pressure in this mid lane. Butcher on the hunt. Illidan caught in the corner, just trying to bring it out. He does try to survive. Metamorphosis is popped for Illidan. He flips around to try to deal damage on this Uther. Uther trying to run away with his life. He hit Divine Shield to try to stay in the game, but he is definitely going to get chased down by these 3 heroes for the red team.
The red team's finally going to get a takedown. It looks like finally going to take out Uther. So that's 1 member falling down, but the rest of the team does show up, and here comes the Butcher running on in. His target here is Illidan once again. Illidan, though, looks like he may be able to tree. Is a heal up?
Oh,
yes, the heal is going to save them in time, and here comes a mosh pit potentially here from ETC. Can he hit it? No, he starts dancing once again. But the red team looks like they might be able to slither away here, get to level 16, which means that effectively, if they fight before level 20, they will be on equal ground here and there, so they could turn it around.
ETC just saying, "Where are you going, guys? We want to have a party."
That country skin, man.
Yeah, man.
I want to have a hoedown.
Exactly. All right, so red team trying to figure out how to survive. Oh, Jaina caught out of position. This is exactly what the red team needs right now. Tries to hit ice block, but you know, this is just postponing the inevitable here. Jaina falling to these 2 heroes and losing a ton of gems in the process. That is not what you want to have happen to a fragile hero like Jaina.
Well, the Butcher sniffing out his prey essentially.
Yeah, he knows Illidan's around here.
Down. Lambda Slaughter is available. Here he goes. He's going to charge on in with the Ruthless Onslaught. There goes Lambda Slaughter, and Illidan just stuck. Knows it once again. He tries to pull back, gets pulled away. ETC falls up for the CC, and man, that thing can be powerful if you don't have a number advantage.
Yeah, it's almost hard to watch, Tim. It's just like you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. It's like, well, I'm stuck here. Well, we'll see what we can do here. So the way to play against this, if you are kind of wondering, whoa, this looks really, really strong, is you need to be coordinated with your team and be able to kind of turn around, because you can fight in that area.
Yeah.
But there is something that I do want to note. We are about to hit level 20. The level 20 upgrade for the Butcher on the Lambda Slaughter, it can actually pick up to 5 people. If you drop it on 5 people, the whole team can be chained to that lamppost.
Absolutely.
Or the hitch post. So we're actually going to see an example of this probably down here in the bottom right corner, about to pop up. Watch the bottom right part of your screen here, as the Butcher is going to use his Lambda Slaughter to lock down 3 people so they can focus the other.
And man, great timing too, because they're still sitting at 19, and this happens like right on the cusp of level 20. So watch this. Lambda Slaughter is thrown down right here on these 2 heroes for the red team. As they're bunched up, he knows exactly what to do.
Now watch all 3 of them. They're all going to try and come help their teammates, and they just get pulled back. They're zoned out. They can't do anything.
Totally zoned, yep. And there goes the Diablo. And look, they're standing on top of this Merc camp that was about to get capped as well. So nice job by Blue to essentially close the match here. This is the clutch fight here. Illidan trying to stay in the match, but just no match for the collected blue team, as the rest of his team had retreated.
Not able to do it. 4 members down for the red team, and the blue team using the Butcher here can charge forward and really just take down this core and take the game. So there is a quick display of what the Butcher can do, where he can be strong in. Now, we did build these compositions to be a little bit strong here for the Butcher, because we wanted to show off how strong he can be. But there is some pretty solid counterplay if you would like to. But overall, man, he can be straight. He can be great, amazing. You know, I'm looking forward to him coming out, and the first thing I want to try is Kerrigan and the Butcher, man.
Butcher's not done yet. Wants to Tassadar before sealing the game here, but yeah, man, like you're saying, such a ruthless hero. You know, let's talk a little bit, Tim, about this hero. And if you had to pick a hero that could kind of absolutely augment the Butcher, so sort of like the